Welcome to Wishpath Yoga. My name is Meredith. We're at the start of a brand new year and a brand new decade. For many of us, this is the time of year when we create resolutions. We develop wishes or intentions to change habits or behaviors. I find I have most success in stopping certain behaviors or habits if I can determine why it is I'm doing in the first place. Most of the time, I'm trying to soothe something that doesn't feel comfortable. So inevitably, just saying I'm going to stop the behavior is often not enough because I still need to soothe what was motivating it in the first place. So this is where a regular yoga practice can be really helpful because the full practice offers ways to soothe our bodies and our minds through hatha yoga or movement, breathing, and meditation. So what I encourage you to do at the start of class today is think about maybe perhaps an intention for your practice or a wish path. Think about something that you would like to have for yourself, something you would like to experience, or a behavior that you'd like to try. And if you can hold that wish in your heart and just think through my yoga practice, may I offer the energy of my practice to the fruition of that wish or experience coming true. So I'll give you just a minute, just if you want, you can settle into a comfortable sitting position or you can lie down, and then just begin to orient to the space around you. So feel the support underneath your body. Notice where you're in contact with the floor. And just invite your mind to come into the experience of your practice and take a break from all the other things on your to-do list. And you can think about your skin as a container that holds all of the things you think of as yourself. And if you let your mind come a little bit more introspective, looking inside the container, you can notice who you are in this moment in time. You can notice different emotions, physical sensations, feelings. And if you notice something that maybe doesn't feel as comfortable today, just generate as much compassion as you can toward that part of yourself. And think, through my yoga practice, may I find some relief. And may all others experiencing similar troubles also find relief. Then bring your attention towards your breathing, and you can think of your inhalations as drawing into the container things that you'd like to feel more of, and your exhalations as an opportunity to release from the container anything that you don't want to hold onto any longer. And if it feels nice, you can visualize colors, entering and leaving, textures, temperatures, anything that makes it meaningful for you. So we're going to come to the physical part of our practice. It will be fluid and vinyasa style with lots of levels, lots of options. Just participate in the class in a way that feels comfortable. Take or leave anything that doesn't feel right. Okay? So we're going to start in a hands and knees position. So if you need extra cushioning, you can grab a blanket and spread it evenly across your mat. I also recommend having a pillow for later on in the class. So bring your hands below your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Press down through the pads of your fingers and tops of your feet. And we're going to start with some cat-cows. So cow, let your heart draw nice and long. As you exhale, round your back toward the sky and look back towards your belly button. So I invite you to move at whatever pace feels best and breathe in relation to your movements. So try to bring sort of a sense of breathing in and out at the same pace you're moving. Take a little bit longer if you need. And try to relate to the whole physical practice as a massage for your body and a way to improve the circulation, not just of blood flow, but also of chi or prana. When the energetic part of us is balanced and the energy is flowing freely, everything tends to work in a better way. Okay. Come forward one more time, and from your cat stretch, we're going to go to child's pose. So if you need to, take a minute, bring more space between your knees, and sink your hips towards your feet. If you can, bring your head down to your mat. Otherwise, you can stack your hands and rest your head on the top one. So tracing your spine with your mind, breathe in and down all the way to your tailbone. And as you exhale, imagine the breath traveling the other way. Again, filling your container with what you want to feel. Exhale to release what you don't. Going forward along your forearms, press back up into your hands and allow your hips to draw 2 circles, as big as you can, in each direction. Good, and then from center with your knees back underneath your hips, bring one arm down so it's parallel to the top of your mat and use it as a pillow. If it feels nice, reach forward with the opposite hand. And reach your hips away from your shoulders and breathe. Good, and then trading the pattern. The reaching hand can stay as close as you want or walk forward into the space in front of you. Good, coming back to hands and knees, slowly exhaling into cat stretch, which will hold this time. Really letting your head drop, pressing away the floor with hands and feet. And breathing into your back. Good, returning to neutral. We'll move to downward dog. So tucking your toes, let your hips reach away from your hands. But start with your knees bent. You can even bend your elbows towards your knees for a minute and feel your arms really draw into the sockets. Taking one leg a little straighter, if reaching that heel toward the floor feels nice down the back of your leg. And then trading for the other side. So walking that out, one knee bending, one knee straightening. Just as much or as little as feels good. Good. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come forward to plank pose. And rest down on your knees. Relax your toes, bending your elbows in and back. Lower slowly to cobra. We'll be quite close to the floor for this first one. Be careful with your lower back. Good. Bow to the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, press to hands and knees. We're going to return to child's pose. This time, let your hands snow angel next to your feet, palms facing the sky. If it feels nice, take hold of your heels and give them a little bit of a pull. And then bring your hands to your lower back, palms facing the sky. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lift up onto your knees, reach your arms up, and then bring your palms, if you can, to your shoulder blades. So we're going to flow between those 2 positions. So hands up high, exhale, dive down low. Moving on your exhales, pausing for a breath in as you arrive in the new pose. Good, we'll try this one more time each way. Good, and then from the top, let your body hold this position, try not to arch your lower back. Take one hand to elbow and gently lean to the side. Good, return to tall and trade the pattern. So as you lean over, feel the new shape in your body and find places into which you can direct the movements of breathing. Good, come back to the top, breath in. Exhale, fold, hands to your lower back. Good, return to the sky, breath in, palms meet. As you exhale, turn to one side, bring your hands down, looking behind you. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, turn the other way. Good, repeat one more time, each side, this time with the option of staying tall or taking your hips to your heels. Good, lifting up and turning. Good, from tall, exhale forward, hands beside your feet or to your lower back. Lifting up again, breath in, and then letting your hands meet, pull them down to your heart. As you feel ready, bring your right foot forward, heel down from your knee, and really press into your feet for steadiness. Okay, let your fingers interlace, press your palms down, and then let your arms come alongside your ears without lifting your shoulders. If you need, bend your elbows. So leaning over to the side, and then try to breathe here where you're feeling the stretch down that one side. Come back to tall. Interlace your fingers behind your back and reach your arms into the space behind you. Tip your gaze up and breathe in underneath your collarbones. Good. Soften that effort. Meet your hands at the top and draw them down. And then we'll trade sides. So let your left foot step forward, weaving your fingers, if you can, with the opposite pinky on the outside. Lifting your arms, pressing down into your feet, lean to the side. So try to always relate to yourself as someone who's basically in a constant state of transformation. Coming back to tall, interlace your fingers behind you and reach away. How the transformation expresses itself depends on causes and effects. So if we can sort of accumulate enough of the causes that generate beneficial effects, our experiences will tend to feel better and better over time. Good, so it's about becoming conscious, let your hands lift, about how that all plays out within our own unique personal system, and then making choices accordingly. Inhale, lift to the top. Exhale, bring your hands onto your bum, let your heart lift, elbows hug in. Again, drawing some breaths in underneath your collarbones. And then exhale, diving forward, hands next to your feet. Turn your palms to the floor. Snow angel your hands forward. And then come along your forearms, pressing up into cow. And then pressing the floor away, lifting to cat. From neutral spine, return to downward dog. Knees as bent as you need, especially if your heels feel really far away from the floor. When you're ready, come forward to push-up pose or plank, and resting on your knees, we'll lower down again. Cobra can be higher if your lower back is comfortable, otherwise just stay closer to the ground. Try to keep your ears and shoulders far away from each other. Lower down, breathe in. Exhale, press. Moving to child's pose again. Hands slide into the feet. Good. Bring them up to your lower back. Inhale, lift to tall. Exhale, turn to the side in that tall position or hips to heels. Breath in, lift. Other side. Good. Heart forward and fold. And coming to tall, hands meet, and slowly bring them down. We'll return right foot forward, this time into lunge, so fingers below the shoulders. If this feels too squishy, you can trade places with your hand and your foot so your arm is inside. Let your back toe tuck and bring your knee up off the ground. But press down through all parts of you that are on the floor so that your hips aren't sagging in a collapsed sort of way. Good. Let that right arm come inside the leg if it isn't there already, and put your back heel flat on the ground. Let your left arm lift up nice and high, all the way to 12 o'clock. If this feels too hard, you can bring the bottom arm up onto your thigh instead. Press into your front heel and tip your gaze toward that top hand. Let that top arm swim slowly as though you're doing back crawl. And let the momentum of this next swim lift you all the way to shoulders over hips into warrior two. So the front knee will bend over your heel and point toward the center toes. Good. Let your hands meet together in front of your heart. Take a breath in. Dive a little or a lot inside that front knee. And as you reach back, straighten that front leg. Rebend it. Exhale, dive. Reach back and breathe in. Good. 2 more times. Good. Coming back to a soft knee and open your arms into warrior two. Turn to lunge, back toe tucking under. Good. As you're ready, step back to downward dog. And come forward to plank. Knees touch down. Exhale, lower through the front of your body. Tip your gaze a little high if it feels nice. Bow all the way to the ground. Shoulders stay lifted. Move yourself to child's pose on your exhale. Bring your hands, slide into your back. Breathe in. Exhale, rise. Good, turning. Center. Really exhale to let go. Good, coming down again, either just with your hands or if you can, the deep fold. Good, coming back to tall. And as you're ready, bring your left foot forward and set up your lunge. So you can leave the back knee down, of course, if tucking your back toe and lifting that knee doesn't feel good. Good. Now letting the back leg rest down, draw your left arm on the inside of your leg, and as you're ready, lift your right arm tall. Bottom elbow can come higher if it feels a little gentler. And then as you're ready, let your top arm swing. The swimming can also be a little closer to the ground if the fuller circle doesn't work in any way. Great, use the momentum of this to lift to tall, into warrior two. And then drawing prayer hands together. Take a breath in, exhale, dive. And as you reach away into the space behind you, straighten your front knee. Rebend it, exhale. And lift back. Good, 2 more times. Good, and then holding, reopen your arms, breath in. Exhale, turn to lunge, so back toe tucks here. As you're ready, step to downward dog. Make sure your middle fingers are pointing forward. Try to bring some weight into the thumb edges of your palms. Take a nice deep breath into your tailbone. It feels nice. You can sway your hips side to side. Good. And then coming into your plank, exhale. One knee to the opposite elbow and step back. And trade sides. One more time each leg. Good. Rest on your knees and relax your toes. Slowly lower to the depth you like. And come all the way to the ground. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, press to hands and knees. We'll rest in child's pose, hands staying out front this time. You like, you can turn your palms up toward the sky. And rest your palms down, bring your hands back. Take a breath in, exhale to lift, and bring your hands level with your chest. Step your right foot over to the side this time. Try to line up your heel to both knees, so down from this one and across from this one. Okay, we'll do another lean over, see how that feels. Let this hand tuck behind you, either resting on your lower back or if you can, grabbing the other thigh. Take your gaze a little toward the ceiling. And then slowly take your gaze into the space behind. Good, try that one more time. Gaze turns up. And then gaze down and behind. Good, gaze forward. Let that arm release. Swim it round to come to tall. Good, and then we'll trade. So standing on your right knee, opening your left, and leaning over, hand to lower back or opposite thigh. So a little movement through our necks here, so looking up, and then down and back. One more time, up, and down and back. gaze forward, let the arm behind you swim around, and lift you back to tall. Good, landing to both knees again. This time tucking your toes under behind you so that you have the option in your camel of staying hands on your bum, looking up, or if you can, reaching for your heels. Careful with your lower back. So with your toes tucked under, hands grabbing heels, bigger movement, so just be careful. Good, as you exhale, sink your hips back and bring your fingertips forward. So toes are still tucked under here. And then try to reach your heels into the space behind you. So you have a little bit of stretch through the bottoms of your feet. If you want, you can roll through your feet, bring your heels toward the ground, and then coming back to knees in front. So as you do this, just be mindful that it's appropriate for all your joints. In whatever way you can, try to give your feet some attention each day, especially if you're like me and you live in a cold winter climate where we have our feet shoved into heavy boots and shoes all the time, and having a chance to get barefoot feels a little bit challenging. We're going to use this next rock back to come to standing. So as you roll, let your hips lift and land your heels. Have your feet about hip width apart and bow over your legs into forward bend. Gentle way to do this is elbows on the thighs. But if you can go hands to the ground, just let your head really drop. Press into your feet. And bend your knees enough that your tummy and your legs connect. Yeah, with your knees soft, exhale, bring your arms forward, chair. You can also lift higher. Good, as your palms come together, bring your hands level with your chest, sink your hips in a way that's okay for your knees, and as you come across into chair twist, just make sure your knees are still lined up, that one knee hasn't pulled back. So you can stay here, or if it feels good, separate one arm to the floor, one arm to the sky. Good, rejoin your hands, come back through center, and see how it feels to turn the other way. You may notice it feels different going in this direction. Separating your hands if you want. Keep pressing away the floor with your feet. Good, let your hands meet. And as you come back to center, bring your hands to your thighs. We'll cow, cow, cow and cat it one time each way. And then with your next cat, roll to standing. Good, open your palms, take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, let your hands meet. Open your arms one more time and lift all the way up. Good, exhale, hands come down. Okay, so if you've had a blanket on your mat, you may choose to move it over to the side. From mountain pose, try to feel you have equal weight on both feet, some weight in your heels and weight in the balls of your feet. Try to practice coming into neutral pelvis when you're standing, so these pokey out hip bones and your pubic bone are in one vertical plane. From there, you can stack your tummy and your chest and your head, one on top of the other, to bring your spine into a more neutral shape. So one habit you can get into when you're looking at your phone is, rather than slumping and looking down, is lift your phone or your device up to your face. And it'll help you create just a healthier posture through your spine, because we spend a lot of time looking at our screens. Okay, so let's move to Warrior One. So keeping your feet the space apart, please step forward with your right leg and let your knee bend. And just see how that feels through your lower back. If there's any strain, narrow your stance or bend this knee a little bit less. Okay, so just reaching down through that leg behind you, feeling a nice stretch. You can bring your arms forward or a little bit higher. Good. Tip your gaze. Good, and then turning your thumbs forward, let your legs straight and swim your arms a little behind you, down, forward, and up. Again, these circles can be closer to the ground if you need. Good, let your fingers interlace behind your back, softening your front knee. Reach your arms away from your body and stay tall. Or if you like, you can bow forward, hands either staying on your back, or once you've got your gaze fixed to a spot behind you, you can lift your arms up. So press down through your feet. Try to lift the inner arch of the foot behind you. Bring your arms back to your body. Exhale, roll up. Let your hands lift and meet your palms to your shoulder blades. Take your hands to your lower back. Same movement we were doing earlier. Good. Palms to shoulder blades. One more time. Good. And then we'll hold the elbow on the left side and lean a little bit over. Good. As you come back to tall, take this hand, thumb down to your lower back, and you can stay low with that hand or sort of creep it up your spine and aim to hook your fingers top and bottom. Don't strain with that one though if it doesn't feel good. Try to flare your ribs as you inhale. A little bit of movement in your ribs. Give your shoulders a little bit of a ride too. Good. Let the bottom hand slide down. We'll bring it back up to join at the top. And then inhale, meet your palms and bring them down to your chest. We're going to go to Warrior 3. So as you bring your weight into your front leg, you can keep your back toes on the ground, or as you feel steady, you can lift that leg a little bit or a lot. Good. Exhale, bring that foot forward, bend your standing leg. Cross your legs like you're sitting in your chair and let a toe either land there or hover or wrap behind. Good. Open your arms for eagle. So whatever leg you have on top, cross the opposite arm on top. And keep your arms open, touch them or meet your palms. Your elbows can lift away from you or stay close. Just hug all parts of you that are touching together. Last option here is to bow forward. Good, and return to tall. Return your arms open and let your feet step open into mat pose at the front of your mat. Inhale, exhale, bend forward and plant your hands for downward dog. As you feel ready, lead with your left foot to that pose. Come into plank and lower. And bow. Exhale, hands and knees tuck under your toes. We'll make our way to standing again. So as you bring your hands back, roll your feet flat. Bow over your legs. Elbows can be on your thighs instead. Exhale, come to chair. Breathe in. And we'll twist to one side. Come forward. Breathe out. Center. Good. Hands to your thighs. Wave through cow and cat. Rolling through cat to standing. Open your palms, breath in. Exhale, hands meet in front, chin tips down. Good. And with arms open, lift up. And draw to center. We'll get ready for the other side. So please stride forward with your left leg, back heel is down on the ground. So just see how this feels everywhere through your back body, okay? So as you exhale, take your hands to your lower back and then bring your arms forward just to where you can. If you can, meet palms to shoulder blades again. Good, and then we'll hold onto the right elbow and lean to the side. Come back to tall. Let this hand open. Turn your thumb down and let that hand find your lower back and rest there. Or walk it up your back, maybe hooking fingers on the top and bottom hands. So moving into your ribs with your breathing. Good, and then letting that bottom arm release. Bring it back up to the top. Good, lifting both hands. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Now you're welcome to stay tall for this next variation, reaching your arms in whatever direction feels good, or you can bow. Gaze into the space behind you, arms staying on your back or lifting up. Beautiful. Use your next exhale to push into your feet and roll up. Good, hands release to the top. As you gather the hands lower, press them into each other, tuck under your back toes, bring your weight into your front leg. So your warrior three can be here. Just practice having some weight in your heel, pressing down, or you can lift your back toes and hover them, or come up a little higher. Good, exhale and step forward. Standing knee is bent. So as you cross your legs, land your toes or lift them or scoop them around in behind. Good, arms open, opposite arm to leg, crosses on the top, and you can keep your hands apart or meet them or meet your palms. Play with where you want your elbows to be in space, either close to you or lifted away. Some of you will bow forward, taking your gaze toward the floor. Coming back to tall, releasing your arms, and then your feet. Good. Breath in, and exhale, fold. You're leaning into your hands, move your right foot, downward dog. And then coming to plank, bring your right knee down right under your hip and lift your other leg out behind you. Press through the parts of you still on your mat. And if you want, walk your opposite hand forward or lift it. Last option, bend that floating knee, reach back, try to find your foot, and hold. Good, reverse those steps. And as you bring your hand down, exhale, draw your knee in and bow. Tuck under the other toes, return to downward dog. And then come forward to plank. Then your left knee right down from its hip. Other leg is straight and lifted. Option to walk your other hand forward or float. Some of you will grab your foot in your hand. Try to focus on the parts of you still on the floor and really press down there. Beautiful. Reverse your steps. Hand rests down, knee draws in and bow. Tuck, lift, downward dog. And then come to hands and knees, toes relaxed, and slowly make your way into sitting. Whatever way works for you to get there. Okay, so we're going to come into butterfly. Let the bottoms of your feet find each other. Now, if you feel really like you're way back on your tailbone here, you might find it helpful to grab something like a rolled up blanket or a pillow. Just sort of sit up on it. Can help you find a little bit more of a neutral pelvis so it feels like you're sitting on your sitting bones. This is a natural movement in the spine, but we don't want to get stuck there. So if you have to sit for long periods, either at work or in a car, it might feel helpful for your lower back to roll up a towel and just, again, sit on it so you're sitting on your sitting bones rather than back on your tailbone. Okay, so with the bottoms of your feet together, you can either stay tall, fingers rooting into the floor behind you, and just relaxing your knees toward the floor. Or if it feels comfortable, you can come forward over your legs. I like to sort of wing my elbows ahead and reach them down. In addition to that, it can feel nice through my upper back if I round my back up like cat stretch, while I'm reaching down through my elbows. See how that feels for you. We're all a little bit different, so there's no black and white things in our yoga practice or in anything else. We just have to see how causes and effects sort of express themselves within each person. We're all so unique, so different. You might direct your breathing movements into your back here. In the pressing into your feet, take a breath in and exhale to lift out to tall. Okay, so let's open to this leg pattern, and we're going to do some sitting twists. So you can either keep your legs like this, or if your knee is okay, you can draw your heel in and allow that knee to relax toward the floor. Okay, so starting from feeling here on your sitting bones, that neutral spine, turn to your right. So let your right fingers land behind you, and let your gaze turn to look into the space behind you as well. Not on the floor, but a little to the right and maybe even a little bit up. And then return to center, and we'll try the other side. So if you want to trade out your legs, you can. And then exhale, slowly letting your body create the twist rather than pulling with your front arm. So this arm's pretty relaxed. Inhale to lift your sternum. Exhale to let it drop. Wonderful. Come back to center. Sweep your legs in front of you again. And letting your hands slide towards your feet. Exhale, drop your chin in towards your throat. And stay here, or if you want, start to reach your heels further forward. Again, keeping your tummy on your legs, so letting your knees be as bent as you need. And you can position your neck how it feels best. Pressing into your heels, inhale, and then exhale, return to sitting. Okay, so I'd like to invite you to lie down now. If you want, just sort of come up to the front of your mat and lie back. I'm just going to turn to my side so it's easier to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into a position lying on our backs with our knees bent. And just kind of let the lower back settle for a minute. And then I'd like to try a pigeon. So if you want to draw one knee in, and then see how it feels to cross your ankle and let your leg go and move it away from you. So this, you might feel through your outer thigh here. If it's okay in this knee, you can hold the standing leg and bring that foot up off the ground. You can be still or rock side to side. Good. Reconnect standing foot to the floor. Hold your thigh and allow your heel to reach skyward. And then we'll trade. So this leg inevitably will feel differently. So you can cross your ankle and keep the standing foot on the ground, or bring your thigh up into your hands. Try to really keep your jaw relaxed. Breathing into the container, feel how everything is woven together. As you exhale, let the transformation occurring in your hip ripple through the rest of you. Beautiful. Okay, so setting down your foot, holding the other thigh, and just take your leg as straight as you need. You might really reach up through your heel if you want to change the experience in your calf muscles. Beautiful. And then we'll come back down, and then we're going to set up for our Shavasana. So I'm a little bit close to the wall here. So as you lie down, you might rest your knees over a pillow or let your knees touch with your feet a little wide. Or some of you will be able to take your legs all the way straight and your lower back still is comfy. Okay, let your hands rest on your tummy or arms beside you, palms up. This is a nice thing to try just because it's different experience to our shoulders. Nice antidote to everyday posture. Okay, and then just orienting to the lying down feeling by tracing with your mind to notice all the points of contact between your body and the floor. So really feel where your head is touching, which parts of your back and hips, your shoulders, arms, and hands. Any parts of your legs are touching, or if your feet are touching. Now, if it's a big day emotionally, you may find having your eyes closed feels a bit overwhelming. So feel free to open your eyes and just stare gently at a spot on the ceiling. But feel your clothing against your skin and have a sense again of like your skin creating a container that holds all of the things you think of as yourself. And try to carve out time every day to get still like this. And look inside. Generate a sense of self as the compassionate witness or observer of the container and its contents. And maybe changing your relationship to things that don't feel comfortable. Our bodies use pain as a way to get our attention when something is wrong. So we can think of uncomfortable sensations as just like messengers seeking our compassionate attention so we can soothe them and return back to a more comfortable state. How we define comfort will vary day to day and change over time as it's sort of a relative term. What we also notice with these daily check-ins is that through causes and effects, how we feel is always in a state of change. So all sensations rise, abide, and then dissolve. We really can pacify feeling afraid of sensations, afraid of our feelings. We breathe in what would be an antidote to anything that doesn't feel good. Give yourself permission to release on your exhale. Inviting yourself to answer the question, if I no longer have this problem, how would my life be different? And answering that question in affirming language. So for example, I could say I would no longer be tired, or I could say I now have energy. Essentially those two statements have similar meaning. To say I now have energy creates a picture in our minds of something new and enticing. And as we become conscious of desiring that, we will be more determined to notice which habits of body and mind function as causes that give rise to that experience, and choose to do them more often. And identify really strongly with anything that feels comfortable and get more and more familiar with it. Okay, so you're welcome to linger here as long as you like. As you're ready to come back to sitting, start by deepening your breathing in a way that refreshes you. You can wiggle your toes and fingers. Take any stretches that feel good. And then in your own time, you can come onto your side until you feel ready to sit all the way up. And then wherever you are, we can practice investing the energy of our practice by making dedications. So again, through wishes, we can think through my efforts here. May beneficial outcomes arise for myself and others. Good. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful new year and that many blessings come into your life in the form of good health, friendship, love, beauty, creativity, anything that you need. Okay? Thanks so much. Namaste.